everyone, it's Lisa from Dogmaster here. You also know me as the Dog Mistress. I just wanted to let you know that we are embarking on an awesome series I'm so excited about called Cocktails and Conversations. I'm not necessarily going to be making cocktails like I have in other episodes, but I just wanted to let you know that this is really about what Dogmaster is about. So clearly, spirits and cocktails is where our focus is, but being a Dogmaster is so much more than that. Being a Dogmaster is about doing your own thing, not accepting status quo, and the most important thing is you get to define what the finer things in lives are for yourself. And so I think there are so many Dogmasters in the Columbia community, and so I want to reach out and find out from them what they love about living in Columbia, how much they love doing their own thing. And so I hope that you're going to appreciate and enjoy this small diversion from our typical I'm going to teach you how to make a cocktail or talk about spirits episodes. So thanks, and subscribe to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Conversations. We are back at the distillery today, and I am here with the amazing Krista Kippenberger. And so I just want to let you know we're even closer to the ice machine this week, and so it is highly likely that it's going to dump at the most inopportune time. I'm going to jump out of my skin as I do, I don't know why, and we're just going to keep on rolling. So anyway, Krista, I think our paths have probably crossed.
I know, I was thinking that this morning, yeah.
But have never really been able to or taken the opportunity to just sit down together and to get to know each other better.
That's right. And that's weird for me, because usually I reach out to people and I'm like, can I get to know you better? I really just want to have a drink or something like that. So this is perfect.
Good, good. Well, and this morning we're having mimosas, so we do tend to take these in the morning. And Krista, I will say, has to be a badass, because she was totally willing to have a whiskey cocktail with me at 9:30 a.m. But she also said mimosas were fine.
Yes.
So I did choose. Today we're doing mimosas, but we're not doing traditional. And if you are interested in a bunch of different types of mimosas, I've got a video for that talks about all the different ways that we change it up. Today we're doing, of course, a little champagne, and then we're doing the San Pellegrino Clementine.
Very good.
Yeah, makes it a little lighter, easy to drink,
summery,
all the good stuff. So we're just gonna get right on to it. So tell me, what do you love about Columbia?
What I love is the community. I think that you can go anywhere, and my husband was like, sorry it took me so long at Hy-Vee last night, I ran into everybody I know. That's true, but Columbia is such a big town, you think, you don't know any, but you do, you have that small community. And then it also surprises me that I don't know everybody. I'm still finding people I don't even know them, so that's exciting to me.
I totally agree. From a small town.
Yes.
My husband's from a college town. He grew up in Stillwater, and so for us this is the best of both. It's small town feel, you can know people, but there's still so much new and exciting about it that you never know everyone, or you never can do it all. I can't tell you how many nights I look at all the possibilities of things to do in
the events. I know,
and it's endless.
Yes, which is awesome. Yeah, it's something new going on all the time.
Absolutely. Me too. So I will have to. So one of the questions I want to ask you is, so you are the chairperson for Women's Network.
I am, yes.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
And so, not something I thought I would ever join, just because I have a lot of things already on my plate. Somebody kept saying, if you're already a member of the chamber, you should really give it a try.
Yes.
I'm not the person that's going to go out and start shaking hands and talking to people. So the first time I went to the luncheon, I was like, okay, I can do this. And it has been amazing. And so I want to hear about your best yes.
The best
yes, which was something I took my friend Amanda, who's also part of the ownership group. That was her first time ever, and I just love that in her first experience, we talked about the best yes, because that's something I think so many women think about all the time, and maybe don't talk about it, and you putting words to it really, I think, makes it so much more powerful.
Wow. Well, I'm still learning too. I am learning the lesson of the best yes every single day in my life too. So to be able to remind myself it's okay that I feel overwhelmed and maybe didn't make that best yes. So I believe that your best yes is putting your priorities in order, and then making that the best yes. And so many times as a business owner, I have said yes, and I just said this to my girlfriend the other day, my best friend. I said, I have said yes to too much this week, and I feel very overwhelmed. And so I know when I'm doing that, and I think that is the first step, is to just identify that you are giving too much and not resting. And so to be able to say, it's okay to say no to something, and maybe later, the Women in Women's Network have actually taught me how to say no. And then they come to me and they say, Krista, I've made my best yes. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, you're just teaching us and motivating us and inspiring. So that's my best yes.
No, I love it. And I love it because I had never thought about it that way. And I think when you're naturally, when you want the best for people in your community, you just, I think subconsciously your priority is everything. And then when you really sit down and say, what are my true priorities? For me, it has made me so much more excited about the things instead of it just being something that's on my to-do list.
Another thing.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have so much fun doing this.
Right.
And then so it just shifts the energy of everything.
True.
And so, no, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it too. I think that if we could all get to that place where we are able to take no from other people and just like celebrate that with them, like, you're right, that's awesome. Thank you for not overextending yourself and not saying yes to something that you just don't really want to be a part of. So I love that. I love all of it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so tell me about who has been a big influence on you.
Gosh, you know, you mentioned Michelle Beatty and Erica Pepperman, and something I'm going to talk about later in the Women's Network that was huge shoes to fill when I was going into the Women's Network, because it's so easy to be almost like compare yourself to them. I love them. They are really great women, and they inspire me every day. But to compare yourself to them is wrong, because you are you. And so I just kept hearing in my mind, like, Krista, you can't be them because you're you. And you're going to bring a different perspective, and that's why you wanted to be the chair. And so moving forward with that confidence, but also knowing like they do inspire me in that way, being able to look up to them, being able to go to them when I have a problem, I think that's really awesome. I also have Mary Ropp has been a huge business mentor for me. She kind of did what I did, or still does, I think, in her line of work, just being able to connect with people, and that's a big thing for me, like meaningful connection, and that's how you market, is to really make a relationship and not like a sale.
Absolutely.
So she taught me that, and I love that.
That's awesome. I remember the first time that, so Michelle and I, our paths had crossed a lot, and then we actually really started getting to know each other. And I remember the first time she said to someone like about like how good friends we were, or how much she really liked me, and it was almost like that little giddy, like back in like, oh my gosh, she likes me.
She's my friend.
She likes little old me, you know. And so I think that it is exciting that there's so many people in Columbia, like we were saying earlier, that there's like, I'm getting to be ready. There's the ice machine. To you know, find my next friend. And so of all the things that you do and all your different hats that you wear, what would you like to be known for? If somebody said your name in a conversation, or some sort of article is going to be written about you or whatever, like, what would you like to be known for? What do you want people to immediately think about when they hear your name?
I want to be inspiring to people. And I really like, so on one of the hats that I wear, I coach people who are marketing in other chiropractic offices. And at first I didn't know if it would be me, because I'm comparing myself to the other coaches, saying, well, I'm not an expert in this. What kind of background do I have to be able to give advice? And again, I always go back to that. That's just my personality, is I doubt myself a lot. And so being able to have that self-awareness and go forward and say, you can be an expert in this. I'm walking this too. I can give my advice. And so I have a different perspective now about the coaching, that I'm inspiring them and I can listen to them, and I don't have to fix everything on one 30-minute call. I can pick one thing and say, hey, you're struggling with this. Let's talk about it. And literally the other day we had something blowing up at work, problems on my end, and a PR calls me in tears, a practice representative, and she says, this is going on in my office. And immediately my mind shifted right to her. And so I'm like coaching through her. I had to call the doctor. I had to call, the office staff, and I'm coaching them. And at the end of it, after I hung up and after I said, you guys can do this, I thought, how in the world am I this happy right now after what had happened at work in our end? And it was just that kind of God thing that said, you helped somebody else. You gave yourself to somebody else, and it wasn't selfish, right? You were giving to someone else. And so, yeah, that's what I love so much about it. So hopefully the article would say she's inspiring. I can come to her with a problem, and we can work it out together. So I want to be known as that kind of problem solver, coach type.
I love it. And I think that, another thing that you talked about that's so important is sometimes you just have to take the lead. Like, yes. I also thought, who am I to start a YouTube channel?
Right, I'm not an expert in this.
Right, who am I to talk about, like a lifestyle, a branding, lifestyle brand, and, how all this, I don't have a marketing degree, and certainly, I like the way things look, and I like to make things look good, but I don't have like a formal background. And finally, I could have easily talked myself out of it. But I was in a position of receiving.
Right.
And it just so happened that Amy Brewer, who is amazing and who is our producer extraordinaire, we were having a conversation, and she had some needs that producing this channel would fulfill, and all of a sudden we were off and running.
Yes.
And so it's amazing how I think you decide that you're going to give something a try, then you just start doing it, and then you're so busy doing it that you kind of forget about being afraid because you're too busy trying to be like, oh crap, I gotta get this done.
Or you do it afraid, Of
yes.
course. We can be afraid. We have fear, but we're gonna do it afraid. And I think more women need to think of it this way, that I think we talk ourselves out of opportunities too much because we say we're not good enough, and I hate that, and I have that self-talk, and so I want to be able to empower women to say, I'm gonna give it a try. Why not? I was reading this quote I had wrote down 8 years ago, actually this morning, and I shared it, and it said, don't be afraid to try new things. Remember, the ark was built by amateurs, and the Titanic was built by professionals. So like, we're amateurs, who cares? It doesn't mean we can't do it, just do it afraid.
Oh, I remember the first time we filmed here, and the ice machine dumped, and I was just like, I'm done. I basically was, my face was just like, I was like, guess what?
Yep.
Nobody's gonna watch this. They're gonna think, can't you get a professional background or whatever, and now we just make a joke about it, and it's kind of the running joke around here. And then one time we had to end up moving everything we were filming because the ice machine wasn't working, and the repairman was making so much noise that we actually couldn't even stay in the spot. So, I feel like for me, one of my big things is authenticity. I like things to look a certain way, and I want things to be perceived in a certain way, and then I have to pull myself back and say, but is that really as inspiring as the ice machine dumping and laughing and being here and being honest and saying, I'm just
this is real life.
doing some things. Yeah, I'm doing some things, and we're gonna video me doing some things, and you're either gonna like it or you're not, and if you're not, that's okay.
That's right.
And if you are, then I hope you can join me with we're all just doing some things, and it's awesome.
And I'm not for everyone, right? Like,
oh,
it doesn't have to be everyone. Like, everyone doesn't have to be for us. We can have that close-knit community, and it doesn't have to be that way. So.
I totally agree. But that was a hard thing for me to come to.
I know. Oh, yeah. Huge lesson.
So, I have some serious questions to ask you now.
Gosh.
What is your favorite word?
I don't know. Did I say it?
Yes, we've had other people. Yes. All the words have been said, and we've only had 2 episodes so far.
I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. my favorite word. And one of my good friends gave me a plaque that says fuck. I swear. I believe in Jesus, but I cuss a little.
Totally fine. I think that will probably be I think that we will get that word. I honestly believe we will get that word 3 out of 4 times.
I don't know. It just like makes everything worthwhile.
It's like, oh, yes. Nope. So what's your least favorite word?
Oh, I don't know. Least favorite word is probably try. I hear my daughter say a lot, well, I can try, and I don't love that. You're either going to do it or you're not.
Right.
And so don't just try, just do it. Like, let's put it all in. And I'm kind of that personality where it's like, I'm a decision maker very quickly, and we just do it. And that's how Kurt balances me out. Is like, he's like, hold on, let's gather some information first. I'm like, that's no fun. But try is probably one of my least favorite words.
I think that's understandable. So what sound or noise do you love?
At night we have to have a fan going, so probably that sound, just right off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably be more.
Nope.
If I had time to think about it.
It makes perfect sense. It kind of lulls you into that place of peace and comfort so you can sleep.
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
Okay.
So what sound or noise do you not like?
Probably my alarm going off in the morning is probably like the biggest, like, and my husband has the same alarm, and so I'm like, turn it off. Like even this morning, I was like, dang it, what is that? I don't like it.
Gotcha. What turns you on?
This kind of stuff, like connecting with people, having drink with people, getting to know people better. That turns me on. Networking.
What turns you off?
Complainers. A bad attitude. Can't see past them. And don't get me wrong, I complain too. I mean, if you've ever seen me work out, I'm like, I hate it.
So what advice would you give your 12-year-old self?
Probably going back to that conversation of doing it afraid. Like, self-confidence, doing it afraid. I don't remember not having a lot of self-confidence, but again, just the self-talk that sometimes I go through. And I've got a lot of people around me sometimes that say, Krista, you're so hard on yourself. Like, so even today. So probably today having the same advice of do it afraid.
All right, last question.
Okay.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear at the pearly gates?
Well done, I guess. You did a good job at giving back and inspiring people around you, and making that connection. So well done.
Awesome, I love it. Well, after all this, I cannot believe, because we see things so similarly, that our paths have crossed so many times and we have never chatted, but I'm so glad we did today.
Thanks for the invite.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? Well, thank you for being a dog master, doing your own thing, living your own life.
I love that.
Thank you for bringing out the idea and sharing the best yes. And I really look forward to all kinds of new ways that our paths are going to intersect.
Me too. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, everyone. Cheers. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, Life is the Dog Mistress. We do all kinds of social media for the distillery and for me, and so you can find us on Facebook at Dogmaster Distillery. You can find us on Instagram as Dogmaster Distillery and Life is the Dog Mistress. We're on Twitter and, of course, the YouTube channel. I would love to hear who you would want me to sit down and have cocktails with.
Yes.
And especially, I would love you to self-identify. The first person that says to me, hey, I'm your girl, or I'm your man, I'll talk to anybody. I would love that. So please leave your comments below, and thank you all for your support. And, there are tons of gems in Colombia. I say that all the time. There are tons of gems all over our state and our country, and I'm happy to travel outside of Colombia, but I also encourage you to get out and know and see and learn more about the gems in your community. So,
See ya.
next time.